Alright gang, Bison back. Today we're going to do a second attempt at making the fire starters that I made the other day. Here are the ingredients we're going to use. We're going to use some Gulf wax. We're going to use some rolled gauze. We're going to try the cotton balls again for the top. And I've got some tiki paraffin fuel. This is the fuel like you would buy for the tiki torches with the citronella. This is the same stuff without the citronella, and this is smokeless, odorless, and sootless. The stuff that I used last time was a different formula, and it made a little smoke and it had an odor. The other difference is I'm going to be using one of these little baking tins. So the first thing I'm going to do is to make preparations. I'm going to unroll this. I'm going to cut it into strips that will fit along here. Then I'm going to cut up the wax, and then these we move to the side for last. So let me get those preparations together, and I'll come back and show you what things look like. Alright gang, so the wax is cut up. It comes in 4 blocks in a box that look like this. And here's our gauze cut up. So what I'm going to do next is take the tins, put the wax in, and then I'll put them over the heat, and I'll show you what that will look like. So I got the wax in here. Gonna move our gauze pad to the side for now. Move our thing to the side here, our cutting board. Here's our stove. Open up the forks a little bit more. Hopefully the pin will sit on it. The tin, that is. Let's see if it's good. Yeah, it's good. I doubled up the tin just to give it a little more strength when it gets hot. We'll see if this works. Turn on our gas. There's our gas. We're going to set our tin on here. Let me just adjust the flame because it's like a torch right now. And I'm going to let it all melt. And then once it's all melted, the next step is we're going to stir in some of this tiki fuel to give a little component more to the wax, a little more burning agent. And also, when we're working on laying our gauze in it, it's going to prevent it from curing quickly and getting hard. So let this melt, and I'll come right back in a minute. Alright, our wax is boiled. I put a little sub pan underneath this thing because it started to burn through the pie tins a little bit. It was a label underneath, but I didn't want to take any chances. So now we're just going to add some of our tiki fuel, about a 50-50 mix. Let that sit for a second. Stir it up a bit. Just let it simmer. Put the fuel away. And now what we're going to do is we're going to get some pot holders, and we're going to remove the tin from the flame and set it off to the side. Alright, our tin is to the side. Let me turn off the flame and move this. Alright, the flame is off. I'm moving this hot stuff out of the way. Move the stove out of the way. Alright, now we have our tin, and we're going to start layering in our gauze. Just going to go in this direction, let it soak up and sink. I'm going to do a little crisscross action, so when I cut it up, it's kind of stronger. Let's get our Mora, just kind of push the edges down a little bit. There's a lot in this one. The last time I did this, the mistake I made was not having enough liquid in here of wax and paraffin oil, and the cotton balls on top did not absorb properly, and they came detached. Just cut this one in half. And in this, there are two full rolls. I don't remember how many yards they were, of, I guess it was like 4-inch gauze pad. So we'll just kind of let this absorb a little more. And now we have a nice puddle at the top, and we'll layer our cotton balls along that and let them cure. And we'll just do it so the cotton balls are half submerged, half sticking out, because we want something to ignite. And some of them that do soak up a lot of this liquid, you know, once we cut it up and it's solid, we'll you just got to rough it up a bit. So I'll just pause it here while I do some of this, and then we'll look at the final product. Alright, so here's a look at the pan. Cotton balls are at the top. We're just going to let this cool off and cure, and if I have time later, if it's not too dark, or probably tomorrow's the best bet, we'll cut this up and see how she does. Alright, gang. Thanks for watching. I'll be back in a few. Alright, gang. I'm back. Here's a look at the final product. And it's nice and solid now, as you can see. Some of the cotton comes off the top, and I already cut some little pieces off. You know, you can't prevent it from splitting up a little bit, but that's okay. You can contain all the pieces in a little plastic bag, and just light them up individually, and I'll just show you here how kind of tough it is to cut. Cut a little corner off here. It's really hard to get through, and of course, as you're cutting, you'll see how she does come apart a little bit, but just try and contain it, keep the cotton with it, and put each little individual piece in a baggie, or several bags. I mean, it doesn't matter if it's a big mess when it falls apart. Just stack it all up when you get outside, and we'll go outside now and hit it with a spark and see how how they take. All right, I'll be back. All right, gang, back outside now. Here's the little corner piece you saw me cut off. Gonna see if it takes a spark with my fancy new deer antler ferro rod that I showed in the last video. So let's give her a spark and see what happens. And there we go. I don't know if you can see in the camera, but she is lit. There it goes. Alright, so let's give it a few. We'll see how long my new concoction lasts. And, you know, I would have got the spark quicker. You just got to kind of rough it up again and pull the fibers. The cotton balls that I put on top, did absorb a little too much, so let's let this burn, and we'll see how long it takes. Not take, see how long it lasts. She's roaring now. Look at that, very nice. Alright gang, you can see that she is just about out. Let me calculate the time that it took. It took just about 13 minutes to completely ember out or burn out. So that's pretty good. You know, it all depends on how long you want them to last, but you know, cut a bigger chunk, smaller chunk, depending on the size of fire that you want to create. You know, if you got a nice pile of lumber that's kind of needs to be dried out a bit and you have a hard time starting a fire, this is a great fire starter. And another thought I had, just to show you again, the fluid that I use, let me zoom back a little bit here, was the tiki fluid for oil candles. You can also get this with the citronella for the tiki torches to ward off insects, bugs, mosquitoes, etc. Maybe if you made the same concoction that I did, using the fluid with the citronella in it, you can take the small chunks, put them around your fire on rocks or in mason jars or little pans or something, and have them around your camp to ward off bugs also. That's just a thought. So there you go, gang. There's another look at my homemade fire starters version 2 take 2. Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching. Bison out.